What's up, guys? This is Kalo, and normally I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, but welcome back to another episode of Community Kitchen, where we're cooking up the latest and greatest gaming news headlines. And who better to join me today than my fellow Helldiver, Aden? Why don't you say what's up?
Hi everybody, welcome to Game Sandwich, where we are always dropping in directly on the objective.
We are dropping in directly on these... Oh, never mind. I'm not going to say it too early in the video. But before we get into this topic, we want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that are dropping a like on this video. Subscribing to Game Sandwich if you didn't do that. Do it now. It's free. It's fun. Good content. And join our community Discord. Links to that is in the video description down below. Now, I am a numbers guy. I'm a numbers guy. I like to provide facts. All facts, no printer. And we're getting numbers in about Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox, which was a pretty big deal. And you and I both know, and those who are watching at home, Kalo's never going to miss an opportunity to say I told you so and dunk on PlayStation ponies. So we're getting right into all that. So I want to bring up this article I found from The Gamer, where they talk more from the Alina Insights, who gathered numbers on how well Xbox is faring in the world of Helldivers 2. Now again, they only want to highlight this is just the first 6 days on Xbox. The port sold 926,000 copies. Taking that number into mind and comparing what it did on PlayStation, which was 633,000 copies in its first 6 days. Now, before we open the general conversation, this isn't me like saying like, oh, y'all suck, whatever. I want to preface a few things. One, I think you and I both can agree whenever Helldivers 2 launched on the PS5, we didn't think it was going to be some mystical cult following giant game and everyone loves it. Like, that is where I do think that 633,000 comes into play. And over time, since its release, it has built that cult following, hence the 926,000. So I do think there's a little give and take there. But Aiden, at first glance, what do you think about these numbers?
I mean, I think it just tells that, okay, I'm going to say this. I think that it tells two different things. One, I think it shows that Helldivers 2 has stood the test of time. People, through word of mouth, people have really shared that they enjoy it. Also through like reviews online, through Steam, people have said that they really enjoy it, and so that has enticed a lot of people to want to join. Now, the other thing that I think it tells is that Sony has stopped meddling, and that's part of the reason why people are happy with it, is that Sony has stopped meddling, because there was that whole debacle last year. I don't know if you ever saw it or if you were ever a part of it, but there was a whole period of time where if you were on Steam and you didn't have your PlayStation account connected to your Steam account, then you couldn't play Helldivers 2. You couldn't play it. You weren't allowed to play it. Like, they just shut you down completely. And there are a lot of people who don't have PlayStation accounts or didn't want to make one. And then after a while, Sony finally stepped back and went, fine, you don't have to link your account. You don't have to. It's optional. Whatever. And so I think that in itself, too, just speaks volumes with this. Because, like, now it's, people are more trusting of the game because they don't have like Sony so tethered to it anymore.
That I know the whole attaching PSN thing, that has a lot to do with why people are so down on certain games whenever they do launch. And then it's always a thing like, oh, never mind, we're gonna kind of like forget that ever happened and then just kind of release it as is. I also want to bring up this point. Last week, the CEO of Arrowhead did say that the game has seen its highest peak concurrent player count since its launch. And there was this narrative going on that, there isn't, the reason why it reached that number was because people are going back into the game and checking out the update. Not the fact that all these people from Xbox got back into the game. And I think to say that, it's just very weird. And it's like, no, like, the bona fide success of this game was because so many people, so many passionate Xbox fans got into this game and embraced it. And I do think if you're still holding on to hope that like, oh, this is just the only PlayStation game that's gonna release on Xbox. I think these numbers tell us, like, no. If anything, going forward, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised by the end of the year that we see another PlayStation game at least be announced to be coming to Xbox soon.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. And with the player count here, like I was looking at the player count on Steam, just Steam alone here at least.
Mm-hmm.
The all-time peak happened about a year and a half ago, like at the launch and everything. Now the all-time peak was 458,000,
Mm-hmm.
but in the last 24 hours, they've had the highest peak player count that they've or had in the last like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, really, I think that that's showing a lot. Like since now you can get it on Xbox. People want to come to Steam to play it as well because hey, they're excited that they can play online with their friends who are on Xbox, so they're finally getting back into the game, or they're buying the game now to play with their Xbox friends. So really, it just opens up a door of hey, now we have the opportunity to link these two together, or like link these three platforms together.
Yeah, and let's not forget, like, the ODST collab. That's a pretty big moment there. And
Oh, of course.
whenever we do talk about, like, what's going to give this game's legs further on, like, well past this initial wave of hype that it's finally on Xbox, it's content like that. It's collaborations. Again, we've talked about how some go off the rails, but the ODST one made sense in this world. It was like a
Yeah.
no-brainer. It was something we, like, fans speculated for the longest time. Now that Xbox is there, they've shown that they're willing to kind of dole out IP as they see fit, and how it could translate to Helldivers 2, I don't know. But, like, that's what's going to make people come back. And now that it has this new life, this new player base, that will incentivize Arrowhead to continue to support the game, continue to give it DLC, give it whatever it needs to succeed well beyond its years.
Just keep in mind, Xbox people, Master Chief's never coming to
No.
Helldivers, so
No.
just make sure you're aware of that.
Yeah.
They've drawn a very clear line here, and like it ended like right after ODST, so that's like the furthest they're getting into it with collaborations. So just pick your battles on what you request. That's all I'm gonna say on that one. But no, I mean, with everything that's being shown right now, it's very clear to me, at least, that people want to be able to play across all platforms.
Yep.
They want to be able to connect with each other across all platforms. Honestly, at this point, it's like, okay, to equate it to like a bigger game here, imagine the numbers that Elden Ring would have had if it had crossplay.
Yep.
But it doesn't have crossplay. Same thing with like Night Rain. Like Night Rain doesn't have crossplay. Imagine the numbers it would have if it had crossplay, because people want to play with their friends on other platforms. They don't want to have to go out of their way to buy a PlayStation just to play a game that's only on PlayStation with someone else, So the more that we get this stuff, the more that we get like games being ported over to Xbox or ported over to PlayStation and shared among them, and especially ones with crossplay, the more everyone's sales are going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I think it's at this point it's obvious, and I don't know. I'm sure that there's going to be some big wig who's going to be like, nope, that's not true. We need our exclusives. But no. Gamers just want to game together, man.
That's the thing, and I look back to Square Enix being the textbook example of a like exclusivity being a detriment to a franchise, where it's like, oh, they even admit like walling us off to PlayStation hurt us in the long run. The game didn't sell as well as we wanted it to. Now that they're releasing Final Fantasy on other platforms, they're like, oh, like, no duh, like, it's doing a lot better because our fans are on these platforms. And there's been this thing of whenever Xbox started to do this, whenever they ported over Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, Grounded, everyone was like, oh, that's the first, there's gonna be more. And then Xbox seen, oh, our games are selling insanely well in the PlayStation Store. Don't you think, like, it's got, unless this is malpractice, PlayStation is probably seeing this right now and going, what could we do now? Like, what could we do next? And that's not to say, like, Ghost of Yotei gonna be on Xbox day one. Absolutely not. I don't think that's the case. But when I start looking at, like, Spider-Man 1, The Last of Us, God of War 2018, hey, like, maybe, or let's get crazy and say older PlayStation games like a Sly Cooper collection. I'm not doing the bit. I'm not doing the bit, but like the older backlog of games, like maybe that could be the portal, no pun intended, that opens up to say like, hey, let's make money here.
Yeah, no, I mean it really could. It really could. And I think I'm with you on that. Like I think that it would be great just to see them port older games over to Xbox. See, hey, like what if we do a Sly Cooper collection and we port it over to Xbox and we keep it on PlayStation, just see how well it see how well the sales go. Like then we try it the same thing with like Jack and Daxter or something. Then we try the same thing with Ratchet and Clank, you know? Like you keep doing that. I mean, it's not like exclusivities are that bad. Like I don't mind it when it comes to a single player game.
Yeah.
I don't think many people care about single player games when it comes to exclusivity. It's like Xbox is going to be having Fable come out at some point. You know, it'll eventually exist. But when Fable gets released, it's probably going to be a timed exclusive on the Xbox and PC.
Yep.
Probably won't be on PlayStation right away. But that's going to be fine. That's going to be okay for them.
Yeah, you're still going to be able to play it. Like, it's fine.
I mean, that's still going to be okay for them, and it's going to do fine. But if you're going to release a game that's, like, supposed to be multiplayer, at this point, if it's going to have multiplayer, just put it on everything. Don't keep that exclusive. That is what is going to kill any multiplayer game. If it's exclusive, it's going to die. Think about what happened to Concord.
Fair games.
You're right. I
Marathon.
said it.
Yeah, you said it. I'm fine with that. Marathon, Concord, Foam Stars. I can name a lot of them.
Yeah.
And it's just like those games thrive off large player numbers. Helldivers 2 is thriving off a large amount of players. It just doesn't make sense. Also, too, in the vein of releasing old games, what a good litmus test to be like, people actually do care about Sly Cooper. Maybe the next Sly Cooper is going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive or a PlayStation 6, and that's how you rope people into the next generation. It's just, if you're not seeing this math by now, I can't help you.
Yeah.
I can't help anybody out there.
Idiots like us can see the math.
Yeah, no.
You should be able to.
Yeah, honestly, if I could see it, everyone out there should, because this brain ain't working like it used to. But do we have any final thoughts here?
That hamster's definitely not moving with the wheels spinning somehow.
He's sweating overtime, man. I tell you. But do we have any final thoughts here?
No, just like, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. Nintendo, Nintendo. Nobody cares about you anymore. People
doing their own thing.
People do care about you, but you do your own thing. But PlayStation, Xbox, the ones that matter, share. Just share.
Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring.
Exactly. You learned it in preschool, damn it.
Exactly. But that about does it here for this episode of Community Kitchen. We hope you guys enjoyed. If you thought this video was fun, drop a like and subscribe here to Game Sandwich for more content just like this, and join our community Discord. But as of right now, I've been Kalo, joined by Aden, and we'll see you guys next time.
I ain't no Sony pony.
If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.